Hello, welcome back. Today I have for you a big empties. I have just counted up how many products I have sat in front of me here. 47 products. Now, I have been collecting these empties since the beginning of January, so it's basically a whole year of empties. All my empties of 2020 pretty much. And that doesn't count the ones that I try and don't like or break me out. This is just the ones that I have used up or finished. So we've got a lot to get through. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's get into it. I hope that you are all well and let's do empties. Okay, let's do concealers. So I have 3 concealers to talk about. The first one is the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. Now, disclaimer, I probably didn't finish this all the way up, but like you can see, there is still plenty of product here at the bottom, but I had it for well over a year and the formula just started to smell a bit funny. You know, I had used a good amount of it and it wasn't really blending the same. It just wasn't sitting on my skin the same, so I decided to get rid. Yeah, it definitely smells a bit pink-like now. But I did really like this. This is more of a full coverage concealer, but it does have a little bit of hydration. If you're looking for a drugstore option, I do think that this is a really nice one if you like a more kind of heavy concealer, you know, that's going to cover a lot. I used to use this just instead of foundation because I didn't feel like I, on an everyday basis, needed foundation, and this did enough coverage for me to still look like quite skin-like, just using on its own. So I did really like that. The Milk Makeup Flex Concealer, I did also really like this. This is a lot more sheer than the Revolution. Yeah, I was kind of like scraping the back. I'm sure like a lot of people who I watch do empties and like are really good at using up all their products will like cut this kind of thing open, but I'm not doing that. If I'm scraping around to get product out, that's good enough for me. So yeah, this was in the shade Creme, I think. Yeah, Creme. It was a pretty good shade match for me. I did like it. It didn't last that long, to be honest, and it didn't have really that much coverage, but as a very kind of sheer, like everyday concealer, I did really like it. It was easy to blend out and it looked very natural on the skin. So I did enjoy it. I probably wouldn't repurchase it though, just because I didn't think you got that much bang for your buck. Like, it is a more high-end price and it didn't cover that well. So yeah, the Magical Way Concealer by Charlotte Tilbury. I have mixed feelings about this. I did really enjoy how it sat on my skin and I did really enjoy it when I used it, but for me, the packaging is just, I wouldn't repurchase this purely because of the packaging. I think you waste so much product. First of all, it's impossible to get the lid off the thing. It has this sponge applicator, so a lot of product just sits in the sponge that you're never gonna get really out unless, I don't know, you cut it open, but I don't think that would be completely sanitary. It also kind of all gathers around the lid area there. It just ended up not being very pleasant to use. I don't know, I didn't think I was pressing that hard, but I have actually just broken the whole sponge there. So it just, yeah, I did use it up. I did enjoy it. I do think it has good coverage and it has a really nice natural kind of glowy finish to it, but for me, just not worth the price for the packaging that you get. Okay, mascaras. First one is the Lolo mascara. I did really like this. It was quite defining, if memory serves me correct. This is the first mascara I used this year, so just trying to remember. After like 3 weeks it dried out, I think, and I can tell when a mascara is starting to get to the end of its life because my eyes start getting a bit like itchy and it starts flaking off and stuff like that, and that happened after like, I want to say a month of using it, whereas usually I get 2 to 3 months out of a mascara. So I wouldn't repurchase. They did send me that in PR, but I wouldn't purchase it with my own money personally. The e.l.f. Keep Your Curl. I really, really enjoyed this mascara. I think it's really good value for money. It gives you such a nice kind of defined look, but also adds enough volume for you to kind of wear in the evening as well. So I really enjoyed that. It was yeah, I think it was about £3 to £5, and I think very good value. Then the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2. I did really like this, but it did smudge under my eyes, and for the price I think the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl does a very similar thing to your lashes and didn't smudge as much and is a lot cheaper. So I probably wouldn't repurchase this, but I did really like how it made my lashes look. But I just think the smudging thing, it wasn't perfect, you know, and if you're paying top dollar for a mascara, I think it should be perfect. I did use up a mini of the Smashbox Photo Finish Radiance Primer. I went back and forth with how I felt about this. I think overall I wasn't that impressed. It just didn't give me enough of a glow. But having said that, when I used it with other glowy products to kind of amp up the glow, I did really like how it looked. So if I use this and then I use my Pixie Glow Mist on top before I put my foundation on, I really liked the amount of glow. But if I just used this and then put my foundation on, I didn't feel like I had any added glow to my skin. So it's a nice kind of moisturizer feeling. It made my skin kind of primed in that sense for foundation, but I wouldn't say in terms of like the radiance effect. I much prefer something like the Becca, whatever that is, the primer, the shimmery primer, not the purple one, but the kind of yellowy, natural, champagne-y tint one. That's better in my opinion, and you can get minis of that as well. Okay, the Hourglass Topper Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadow in the shade Reflect. So as you can see, I haven't used this up, but this is like almost completely dried out. I have had this probably 18 months at this point, and it had dried up after about a year. But yeah, it did dry out and it just was kind of flaking and crumbling, and it wouldn't sit on my eye and have the payoff that it did when I first got it. So okay, that was all the makeup. Let's move on to, let's do some hair care, because I only have 3 things to talk about in hair care. I did actually use up the shampoo of this, I think, as well, or actually maybe I didn't use it all up, because I did find that this was a bit too heavy for my hair. After a while of using it, it just kind of weighed my hair down. I did really like it. It is the Giovanni Blackberry and Coconut Milk Repairing Conditioner. All of this stuff is obviously cruelty free, but I heard about this on Rhian and Logical Harmony's channel, and I was just like, ooh, I want to try it. They totally influenced me. Yeah, it was really nice. It was very moisturizing, and as I say, I think after a while my hair just got a bit too weighed down with it, but it did make me realize that I think the actual range of Giovanni products in terms of like vegan hair care that's out there, it's really affordable. Like, it's I think about £8, and you can often get them on like buy one get one free deal, so you can get a shampoo and conditioner for about, you know, £8 to £10 together. And compared to other vegan and cruelty-free shampoos and conditioners, for the quality of the product, I think this is like salon grade. Yeah, the quality is just really good. So the one that is my favorite now, which I have another empty of and I'm still using the conditioner of, is the Ultra Sleek shampoo by Giovanni, and this was just perfect for my hair. I love it. It just makes your hair really sleek, as the name would suggest. It wasn't heavy, it didn't weigh my hair down in the same way that this one did. So this one is supposed to be, it does say on the back like how kind of heavy or light it is, and this is like the deepest condition that you can have from the range, whereas this one is still really kind of moisturizing and replenishing for your hair, but it just has a bit more of a lightweight feel, and it made my hair so kind of sleek. I think it's got argan oil in it, yeah, Moroccan argan oil and Brazilian phytokeratin, so that kind of makes it really sleek and straight, but it also makes it really nourished and hydrated. I also had the blowout styling mist from the same kind of ultra sleek range, and I did really like that as well. I used that before blow drying, and it again made my hair really sleek. I actually tried this before the shampoo and loved it, so I wanted to get the shampoo and conditioner to match. Okay, on to some kind of like bath and body stuff. First thing is the Lush Sleepy Body Lotion. This is so nice. I really want to get the shower gel of in the Sleepy range. The thing about the body lotion is I just don't really use body moisturizer, so I just forget to use it. So it took me a while to go through this, just because this is like the smallest tub that Lush do, but you can get a giant one. Use it before you go to bed. Obviously, as the name suggests, it's very like bedtime appropriate. It's very lavender, but it's got the kind of like warm kind of richness as well as the lavender underneath, and it's really, actually, I haven't smelled a kind of sleepy scent that's similar to this one from Lush. It's quite unique. Most kind of lavender scents, a lot of them smell fairly kind of similar, but I think this one is really unique. I think the ones from Neom are really unique as well, and just like very potent. So I really enjoyed this. As I say, would love to try the shower gel because it's the same scent, and I just think I'd get more use out of it, but I did really enjoy it. It leaves your skin feeling very moisturized as well. The Evolve Organic Beauty Tropical Blossom Body Polish. Yeah, I have used this. Wow, I've used this so much that I can't even smell what it smelled like anymore, but it smelled so nice. It smelled really kind of summery, but like kind of tropical flowers. I think it had, yeah, Tahitian Manoi. I don't know what that is, but I know it's a type of flower, and it just smelled like holiday. It was a really good body polish. It was like a sugar scrub, which is my favorite kind of body scrub. I prefer sugar to anything else. I just think you get more of a intense scrub, but it doesn't leave your skin feeling stripped or kind of dry afterwards. So this was really moisturizing as well. I didn't feel like I had to then moisturize after getting out of the shower, so really did enjoy that. A hand cream that I used up, I really loved this. It's a little bit hard to get hold of. So this is from Nordic Birch, and this is their Super Moisture hand cream. I think it has like almond oil, shea butter, jojoba oil and almond oil. This was probably the best hand cream that I've used. This was great for when we were first in our first lockdown, and my hands were so dry from all the hand washing and the hand sanitizer. This really sorted them out. It's only like £5. I found it in like a little organic natural shop in Brighton, but yeah, I haven't really found it anywhere online that's like easy to get hold of, so I will be looking out for it whenever I'm kind of in somewhere that I think would sell it, those kind of like natural shops. But yeah, really like this. Okay, the Vita Liberata Body Blur. Wow, I've had this a long time. I think I've had this 2, possibly 3 years. This is one of the first PR products I was ever sent. I still haven't completely used it up. There is a tiny bit left, but I figure it's so old now, it's probably way past its best, so I better get rid of it. But I really love this. This is in the shade Latte Light. Basically it's body makeup, so in the summer, if you want to look a bit more bronze but you don't want to go to the trouble of fake tanning, you can just rub this on like your arms, your chest, wherever you want to look tanned, and it will kind of do the job for you, and then it will wash off at night. So I didn't find that this transferred. Some body makeups I've tried really transfer a lot, and this doesn't. So it does kind of dry down, but it leaves your skin with a kind of subtle glow and a subtle shimmer. I actually do have a like mini tester size that I received in an order of something of the shade medium, I think, or just latte, and that's a slightly more tanned look on me. So I think I'll probably, if I was going to buy the Vita Liberata Body Blur, I would go for that shade, but it just depends how tanned you want to look. Obviously I am very pale, so this did still give me a nice bronze, but it just wasn't quite as dark as I wanted to go. This is the Lola's Apothecary Sweet Lullaby Soothing Bath and Shower Oil. So I've been trying to, well, not trying to, but I have just been wanting to get into using bath oils a little bit more. I saw this mini on Naturissimo and I think it was like £3 for this, so I thought I'll just try it. And the full size is about £40. That's the thing about bath oils, they are very expensive, but they are so luxe and they fill the room with like the scent of whatever it is. So I love kind of lavender soothing, like the sleepy lush kind of scents. Oh my god, so intense. I really love bath oils. Like, they change the bath game in my opinion. Really like this. I would consider buying the full size because I think it is pretty good value for money compared to other bath oils, and it's obviously natural. It's kind of a smaller, more niche brand, so I think it's good to support. So yeah, when I run out of the current one I'm using, I would definitely consider buying that. Okay, so we've done makeup, hair, body. Oh, I have a couple of lip balms. So this is the Face Theory Lip Balm Bioactive. There's a tiny bit round the side there, but it honestly had kind of changed consistency because I've used so much of it and I've had it a while now. Petroleum free, I prefer using petroleum free lip balms. I know not everyone cares about that, but for me, I find like if I use like a Vaseline or a petroleum based lip balm, it really doesn't moisturize in the same way. So this was a really nice one from Face Theory. I would recommend if you want a very intense moisturizing lip balm. That's the kind of thing that I like to wear. I wear lip balm every night before I go to bed. My lips feel weird if I don't have it on when I go to bed now. And then the Bite Agave Lip Mask. I got this when I was in Canada last year, and honestly it didn't take me that long to go through this, considering the size of the jar compared to like this. It's a lot bigger, but it was quicker to get through, I think, than the Face Theory one. I did really like this. I mean, everyone raves about it. It's a really good lip mask if you want that very intense hydration again. It doesn't really smell of anything, but it's very potent. I had very dry, cracked lips. I wore this for 2 days, and my lips were completely back to normal. So it does really work if you struggle with dry, cracked lips. This is probably the kind of quickest working lip mask or lip balm that I've tried. Okay, so on to actual face stuff. So cleansers. I have a few cleansers to talk about. First is the Face Theory Deeply Nourishing Jojoba Cleansing Oil. I'd used this back in the day when they sent me a bunch of stuff a couple of years ago, and I liked it, but the reason that I didn't repurchase it was A, because it had like a spray nozzle, like you know what you get on a face mist, and it just wasn't the best for like dispersing the product, and it was a little bit hard to kind of spread around my face. I do think they've reformulated it because they have changed the thing so it's a pump now, which is way better for getting the product out, and it was way more easy to spread and really massage into the face. So it seemed more emollient than last time I used it. So I really would recommend this if you are looking for a good cleansing oil, just to break up your makeup as that first step of your cleansing routine. It's a really good one, and it's very gentle and just nice on the skin, and it does kind of dissolve into a milk when it meets water. This is S5 Skincare, I think they're called. They are Evolve Organic's sister brand. This is the Nourish Cleanser. So Evolve Organic also have a cleanser that looks very similar to this. This is just a cleansing balm. Again, it's going to do the same kind of thing as this, just dissolve your makeup in the first step of your skincare, of your cleanse routine. Really liked this. Wouldn't repurchase it. I just think that it was a little bit overpriced, and when I saw the Evolve one looked nearly the same. They do have slightly different ingredients, but they look pretty much like the same product, and this one's more expensive, I think. I probably wouldn't buy it. The rest of the cleanser products I have are Dermalogica cleansers. You're gonna see I have a lot of the same skincare brands, because when I find a brand that I like, I just know that that's what I want to stick with. I tend to try and use fragrance-free skincare, and that can be quite hard to find. So when I do find a brand that's good at doing it and at a good price point, I stick to it. So the few cleansers that I had as like little sample sizes, this is the Intensive Moisture Cleanser. I really enjoyed this. It definitely was really intensely moisturizing. I liked using this last winter or like January, February time, because it did make my skin feel really kind of moisturized and not stripped at all. The pre-cleanse, this is a cleansing oil. I've used this, I've had the full size of this a few times. I really enjoy it. I do think that the Face Theory one is pretty much the same thing, but it didn't used to be. So since they have kind of reformulated it, I think, but it definitely is better than when I used it back in the past. It does pretty much the same thing as this, so I do think that's probably better for your money. But this is a really, really nice, gentle, very emollient, like very easily spreadable makeup dissolver. Then the pre-cleanse balm, which is the balm version of the pre-cleanse oil. This I like. I don't like as much as the pre-cleanse oil. I think it's a little bit hard to warm up in your hands. It can take a little bit of a while and it just doesn't spread in the same way. So I did enjoy it, but not as much as the oil. And then the Skin Resurfacing Cleanser. So this is more of a kind of chemical exfoliant cleanser, and I really like this when I was having a bit of a bad skin day or a breakout. Again, it did the job. That's the thing with Dermalogica, is they always do what they say they're gonna do. And then the Ultra Calming Cleanser, I've used this and talked about it time and time again. I did get through a giant one of these. I have another giant one on the go now. This is just my favorite everyday cleanser. I prefer this to all of the other ones that I spoke about in the minis, and this is the one that I will continue to repurchase, because this is just like the do-it-all for me. It doesn't leave my skin feel stripped, it cleanses really well, it's gentle, it doesn't irritate my skin. Although I did really like things like the Skin Resurfacing Cleanser, I use that as more of like a treatment cleanser. It's not something that I would use every day because it would be too strong for my skin every day. So this just does it all. Everything I need as an everyday, I can use it, rain or shine, whatever condition my skin is in, I can use it. Moving on then to face creams, so moisturizers. So the first one I have to talk about is the Beauty Bay Thirst Trap Rich Moisturizer. They've actually renamed this now to Thirst Class. I've got one on the go now. This is what I used last winter as my night cream. I have repurchased it for that purpose again this winter. It's that kind of like really rich. It's got oat in it, and that's quite, like, my skin likes oat, so I've used it before and my skin gets on with it well. It doesn't irritate it. It's fragrance free. It's about £7 for this whole tub, so I do think it's really, really good value for money for what you're getting, and as I say, my skin loves it, so I really loved that Beauty Bay and I have repurchased it. Okay, a couple of Dermalogica skin smoothing creams. I love these. So I have actually switched now to using another face moisturizer, which I'll talk about in a second, which I think is better price value, but I think they do a very, very similar thing. So if you are wanting to spend the money on the Dermalogica one, this is just a really good everyday moisturizer. They have a few different moisturizers. I have a couple of like 3 sample things here that I used up of the Intensive Moisture Balance. So this is going to be a little bit more deeply moisturizing than this, but this is my favorite because it's just a good everyday moisturizer. It works rain or shine, a lot like this one for me. The moisturizer that I am now using, which I do think is better value for money and does the same thing as the Dermalogica one, is the Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors in HA. Now I know not everyone's skin gets on with this. I did have a comment when I talked about this last that it had broken a lot of people out. I don't personally find that with my skin. I find that it works really well. I have a giant one on the go now. I've used up 2 of these kind of regular sized ones. I think it's about £5 or £6 for the 100 millilitres, whereas this is about £30 for 100 millilitres. The Ordinary, and also brands like the Inky List, they've really changed the game in skincare. They've made brands like Dermalogica that where people were couldn't access them before because of the price point. They've made good skincare like that accessible, and honestly I don't think I will purchase the Dermalogica Skin Smoothing Cream again, because this is just as good for £5. A couple of Dermalogica SPFs I used up. The Prisma Protect I used last year, and I think I must have finished it in January or something like that. I did like this. I actually had a couple of these that I went through. I didn't love it. So the problem that I had was some foundations, I like to use SPF under my makeup, and some foundations it would change the formula of the foundation on top. It would like pill up and stuff like that, so I just didn't repurchase it after I finished this one, because it was too hit and miss for me with some foundations. I then used the Dermalogica Invisible Physical Defense. So this is a physical sunscreen, which they do say is a little bit better for your skin if you do break out from using chemical sunscreens. I personally don't. But if you are someone that struggles with that, then try using a physical sunscreen. I did like this, but for me it was just, so this one, the thing with physical sunscreens is they can often leave a white cast on your skin. They're like very, very chalky and hard to blend in. So this one is like a new formulation that doesn't have any of that. It's a physical sunscreen, but it doesn't have a white cast. It doesn't leave a white cast, definitely not, but it is more chalky to use than a chemical sunscreen. It's not going to feel like you're using a nice silky chemical sunscreen when you use this. You can tell that there's a difference in the feel of it. It's SPF 30, this one, but it did a good job of protecting my skin. It sat well under makeup, better than the Prisma Protect, but for me it was just a little bit too heavy feeling. So I have actually now gone back to my favorite SPF of all time, which is the Dermalogica SPF Booster, and that's an SPF 50, and that I believe is a chemical sunscreen, but that's one that I have gone back to year after year after year, and very deeply moisturizing, and it gives your skin a glow, and I just prefer it to both of these. We are near the end. I'm gonna go through like serums because I really want to talk about this hyaluronic acid 2% plus B5 from The Ordinary. I've just gone through this in about two months. So I did get through it pretty quickly, but I bought it again because this is honestly the product that I have seen the biggest difference in the plumpness of my skin, I think, ever. You do have to use this underneath moisturizer, so definitely make sure you're putting your moisturizer on top of this, because that's what's going to draw all the moisture into your skin. The hyaluronic acid kind of draws it all in. Yeah, it's just made my skin feel a lot plumper, like to touch, and really more hydrated, and it works, man. It's really, really, really good. I also went through, this was a barrier relief ultra calming oil from Dermalogica. I did like this, but the packaging is just awful. It's so hard to get any out. You have to like shake it for ages to get any out, so I wouldn't repurchase it, but it's a really thin, lightweight oil that adds a nice subtle glow to the skin. I went through a Pixi Hydrating Milky Serum. I liked this. It wasn't my favorite hydrating serum. I mean, it wasn't anywhere like the hyaluronic acid, but I don't think it's supposed to be. It's kind of like a very, very, very lightweight moisturizer. The S5 Calm Serum for sensitivity and redness. This is like a very similar feel to this one, a very lightweight moisturizer type of thing. Yeah, again, I liked it. I wasn't blown away by it. I feel like I can use my moisturizer for that. I prefer a hydrating serum that is kind of giving, like the hyaluronic acid, that's giving me more of something that I can't get from my moisturizer. Well, I haven't completely finished it, but it's got a very weird color. This is the Ordinary Lactic Acid 10% plus HA. I got this because I really like, my skin doesn't really get on with glycolic, So lactic acid is good for like smoothing out and exfoliate as a chemical exfoliant basically. So I did like this. I wouldn't repurchase it. I bought it mainly for like using when I have breakouts and stuff like that. I am using the niacinamide from The Ordinary now, which does a better job of treating breakouts. This is more of a chemical exfoliant. It's going to do like more of a smoothing of your skin rather than a treating of the breakouts. A couple of eye creams. I used up a couple of the Green People anti-aging eye cream. This is specially formulated for sensitive skin. So under my eyes, I am very, very sensitive, and a lot of things will make my eyes go red and blotchy and itchy and horrible. It's a problem that I've had over the years quite a bit, and this I find whenever I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, oh my god, my eyes are getting really itchy and very sensitive, I will get this. It's only, I think, £15, so compared to a lot of eye creams, that's really good value. The only thing is I do use it up pretty quickly, so I get through quite a lot of these when I'm using them. I don't know if it really does much in terms of anti-aging. It says it's an anti-aging eye cream, but I don't know how many kind of active ingredients are in it. I just know that it sorts out any kind of reaction that I'm having, and it calms my skin down, and it nicely kind of hydrates under there. So I do notice when I'm not using an eye cream that my eyes get a lot drier and my kind of dark circles will be a lot more intense, and when I use that I find that they're not as bad. Last eye cream that I used up is the Dermalogica eye serum. They did send me this in PR. I probably wouldn't buy this with my own money. I don't like an eye serum. I prefer an eye cream, I have discovered after using this. Just because I find I want my eyes to be really hydrated when I use an eye cream, and for the price, this just didn't have enough of an effect. It's supposed to be very brightening. I didn't really notice that it did that for my eyes. It just kind of, I don't know, didn't really do that much. So that was the one Dermalogica product I haven't really been wowed by. Okay, the Antioxidant Hydra Mist. This was a nice kind of, yeah, hydrating mist. I just had a little free sample size of that from Dermalogica. The Pixie Glow Mist. I really like this. I prefer this for using under makeup than in my skincare. So this does really give a really nice glow to the skin if you are looking for that. Like I said, using it in conjunction with this primer worked really, really well. The Pixie Milky Tonic, I actually decanted this into a spray and used it as a spray. Really, really liked this as a kind of moisturizing step in my skincare routine. Okay, my camera battery is flashing. I think I've got through everything. So we're gonna end it here. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it was helpful for me to show you all of the skincare that I've used in 2020 and what I liked and what I didn't like. As you can see, there are like certain brands that I will buy from over and over again because I just think they are good skincare, good prices, not gonna break me out. Do let me know in the comments below what your favorite skincare of the year has been. I would love to know. I hope that you are all doing well, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you do want to see more from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.